ready and on its path to SEMA, I got a letter in the mail. This letter was from a certain auto manufacturer that point blank didn't like what we were doing. In certain ways, they felt offended and disrespected and basically said they're trying to put a stop to this car to even being at SEMA.
12th of February, 2025. This is pretty much the day TJ Hunt's career took a turn for the worst. And honestly, nobody saw it coming. What was supposed to be just another cool Mustang build turned into one of the wildest creator versus corporate moments the car world has seen in years. It all goes back to November 7th, 2024, when Ford dropped that now famous cease and desist on TJ Hunt and StreetHunter Designs, over a wide body kit. Ford claimed it looked way too close to their Mustang GTD, and that single letter set off a firestorm across the internet. One minute, TJ's prepping a hyped SEMA debut. The next, his car's banned, the lawyers are involved, and the whole community's arguing about who's right. A simple project suddenly turned into a massive mess, one that almost cost TJ his entire reputation. So yeah, how did one Mustang turn into all this? Let's get into it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the wildest stories in the automotive world. Before deepening down on the controversy, we all know that TJ Hunt is one of the biggest car YouTubers out there. He's been building cars on camera for years. Everything from wide body builds and drift cars to JDM classics, supercars, and daily drivers. But he didn't stop at videos. He turned his passion into real businesses, like StreetHunter Designs, which makes body kits and aero parts for different cars. On the other side, there's Ford and the Mustang GTD. This isn't just any Mustang. The GTD is a super high-end, limited production, track-focused beast that costs as much as a house for most people. It's got wild aero, huge vents, massive fenders, basically a race car you can drive on the street, and everyone's hyped about it. When TJ saw the GTD, he had the same reaction most car fans did. Wow, this thing looks insane, but almost nobody will ever own one. That's when an idea hit him. So TJ's idea became a real project. He and his team designed a wide body kit for the S650 Mustang, clearly inspired by the GTD. It had big vents, wide fenders, and the same overall shape. If you parked it next to a real GTD, a hardcore Mustang fan could spot the differences. But for most people scrolling on social media, it basically looked like a budget GTD. That was exactly the point, giving regular Mustang owners a way to get that insane GTD look without spending six figures. This wasn't just for fun. StreetHunter actually planned to sell the kit. And the big moment to show it off was SEMA, the massive Las Vegas car show where brands flaunt their wildest builds and newest products. So TJ bought a brand new S650 Mustang, tore it apart, and spent about 3 months. His team worked non-stop to get the car ready. They built the kit, test-fitted everything, painted it, added wheels and tires, and even boosted the power, making sure it wasn't just a show car, but a real, serious ride. For TJ, this was a huge gamble. He said they spent more on developing and making the kit than the Mustang itself was worth. That includes mold work, materials, labor, design hours, and shop time, on top of the cost of the car. If the kit sold, they'd make their money back and then some. But if it got blocked or shut down, it would be a big financial hit. At first, everything seemed to be going perfectly. The renders got a lot of attention online. People were excited to see the car at SEMA, and the story, we built a GTD-style Mustang in 3 months, made for great content. But behind the scenes, Ford was watching, and they weren't happy. From Ford's point of view, the StreetHunter kit wasn't just inspired by the GTD, it looked way too close for comfort. The GTD isn't some regular Mustang trim, it's a limited run, high-dollar flagship car with millions poured into its design, engineering, and branding. So when a third-party company drops a body kit that basically lets anyone turn their base Mustang into a GTD lookalike, yeah, Ford's going to have a problem with that. To them, it's not just about aesthetics. It's about protecting the exclusivity of a car they've invested heavily in. So Ford's legal team stepped in. According to multiple reports, they hit StreetHunter Designs with a cease and desist letter. The message was pretty straightforward. This kit looks way too much like the GTD, and Ford believes it crosses the line when it comes to their intellectual property. Later, Ford confirmed to media outlets that they had, in fact, taken legal action. They said they take their design rights seriously, and that moves like this are meant to protect both their investment and the customers buying the real GTD, the people paying hundreds of thousands for that exclusivity. But that wasn't the end of it. Things escalated fast at SEMA. In one of TJ's videos, he says that while he was literally on the way to Vegas with the car, he got an email from SEMA. It said that an automaker, which everyone quickly figured out was Ford, had filed a formal complaint, and just like that, TJ was told his Mustang wouldn't be allowed on the show floor. And that wasn't just behind closed doors. People at the show actually noticed the empty display spot where TJ's car was supposed to be. That image, an empty floor space where a hyped build should have been, spread like wildfire online. That's when the phrase, banned from SEMA, really started making the rounds. Now, imagine this from TJ's side. You've rushed for 3 straight months, poured a ton of money into a brand new build, filmed the whole journey, and hyped up this SEMA debut. You drive the car all the way to Vegas, and then you're told the main event, the big reveal, isn't happening because a giant automaker complained. That's not just a normal L. That feels like the floor dropping out from under the whole project. That's why a lot of fans started saying things like Ford ended TJ Hunt or Ford killed his kit and calling it the TJ Hunt versus OEM war. The story had all the elements: a big corporate giant, an independent creator, a crazy build, legal letters, and a banned SEMA car. It's basically YouTube drama, but with real lawyers and real money involved. Ford's side of the story, though, isn't just we hate YouTubers. Their spokesperson made it clear that from their view, this is about intellectual property and protecting the GTD's uniqueness. They argued that they invested serious resources into designing this car and that replicas or lookalikes can confuse customers and weaken the value of the original design. Especially for a high-priced limited car, they don't want people thinking a replica is somehow official or blurring the line between the real GTD and a copy. A lot of people in the car community don't like that explanation though. On forums and social media, you see comments saying, "It's just a body kit, Ford should chill," or "They should have partnered with TJ instead of shutting him down." To many enthusiasts, the aftermarket is all about creativity and freedom. They see TJ's build as a cool tribute, not a threat. Some even feel this kind of move shows how corporate and protective big brands can be, even when the project is mainly aimed at fans who could never afford a real GTD in the first place. For TJ, the bigger problem wasn't just the internet arguing about it, it was the business risk. If the kit never comes to market, StreetHunter basically burns a pile of money. If Ford doesn't back off, they could be forced to redesign the whole kit or abandon it completely. When your company is built around turning wild builds into real products, having your biggest new kit blocked by an OEM is a scary situation. But even in the middle of all this, there's a twist. The story didn't just end with Ford killed it. Follow-up coverage showed that TJ's team and Ford's lawyers actually started talking. Later reports said that while the original kit was banned from SEMA, there might still be a path where a revised version of the kit could be released as long as it's changed enough to satisfy Ford's legal team. Some articles even said the infamously banned kit might still come to market in some form. This was more like a massive wake-up call and a very stressful chapter. TJ didn't disappear. He kept uploading, kept building cars, and publicly said that lawyers were working behind the scenes. The way he talked about it made it sound like he was optimistic they'd find a way through it, even if the original design had to change. For the aftermarket world, though, this whole thing sent a loud message. You can still be inspired by OEM designs, but if you get too close, especially to something rare and expensive, you're likely to get a letter from a lawyer. The line between inspired by and copying is not just about looks. It's also about what a big company is willing to tolerate when real money and brand image are on the line. There's also a bigger story here about creators versus corporations. Car YouTubers like TJ don't just film cars anymore. They build brands, parts companies, and full product lines. That puts them in the same space as big aftermarket manufacturers, and sometimes in direct conflict with the OEMs themselves. When a creator's product steps on a manufacturer's toes, it doesn't matter how many subscribers they have. Suddenly, it's a business dispute, not a fan project. It truly felt like a career on the line moment. If Ford had gone full nuclear, if the kit had been completely shut down with no room to negotiate, and if the legal costs piled up, it could have done real damage to his business and his reputation. When people start using phrases like banned by Ford and illegal kit, that sticks in the public's mind, even if the details are more complicated. In reality though, what we see now is that it was a huge scare and a big setback, but not a total ending. TJ is still here. StreetHunter is still operating. Negotiations seem to have softened the situation from "you're done" to "you probably need to change this design." And honestly, the drama probably gave the kit more attention than it ever would have gotten without the controversy. For other creators, this whole TJ Hunt versus OEM war is a lesson. If you want to make something inspired by a limited, hyped up factory car, you need to think ahead. How close is too close? Are you making your own design language, or just tracing lines from the OEM car? Do you have the budget to fight or negotiate if a big company steps in? These are questions that weren't really on most YouTubers' minds a few years ago. Now, after this, they have to be. And for enthusiasts watching from the outside, it raises a simple question. Where do you draw the line between protecting a brand and killing creativity? Ford doesn't want their $300,000 GTD to be copied. TJ wants regular Mustang owners to experience a GTD-style build without selling a kidney. The tension between those two goals is what created this whole storm. At the end of the day, the controversy didn't end TJ Hunt's career, but it did change the environment he was operating in. It proved that creators can build projects big enough to attract attention from major automakers, and that once you reach that level, the rules start to look very different. So when people mention Ford banning TJ Hunt, they're really talking about something bigger, a creator's ambition running into a manufacturer's need to protect its flagship brand. It's business, it's legal pressure, and it's a reminder of how quickly the line between enthusiast and competitor can blur in today's car world. After the drama, his content didn't stop, it shifted. In 2025, TJ revisited the banned Mustang, giving viewers updates and dropping it off for a full makeover. He kept working on a variety of builds, which showed that the channel wasn't derailed. It was adjusting. Going into 2026, he seems focused on more original designs and projects that clearly stand on their own, without brushing against OEM boundaries. If you want a full breakdown of where TJ Hunt's content is realistically headed in 2026 and beyond, just let me know, and I'll map out the trajectory in the next video. Make sure to hit subscribe, and as always, Tuna No Crust, signing off.